Wow, that is the stuff legends are made of. Where does that match rank all time for you, Paul?
It's got to be one of the most dramatic matches I've ever seen. I mean, it's, you know, hyperbole aside, even though you don't have to because this was so great. It was just amazing to watch the ebb and flow of what was going on and see the players deal intermittently with different kind of adversity. So just one of the most amazing matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was phenomenal for me. And, you know, thank heavens for the match tiebreak. We didn't need to play it out to have an incredible match for the record books. Both of these guys putting everything out there, responding, making each other better. And for me, that's what I made note of time and time again. They kept pushing back, and it was phenomenal to see in the end how Alcaraz was able to finish it.
For me, it is definitely one of the best of all time. It's always tough to put which one is exactly the best, but what you're looking for is you're looking for number 1 and 2 in the world. Neither one had ever lost to each other in a final, hadn't played in a final. And the fact of the matter, the quality of the tennis, the ball striking, how many times I said, how are they doing that from that position in the court? It's so aggressive and offensive tennis from defensive positions. Incredible, the ups and downs, both serve for it, and then to end with a match tiebreak. And that right there is the joy of victory and the agony of defeat, because when you have 3 match points, that is so painful. I'd rather lose a match 3-3-3 on the men's side or 3-3 on the women's side than have 3 match points and lose it. That is so difficult.
It may be the greatest match. It was definitely the greatest comeback. 5.5 hours in total, longest match in Roland Garros history. The King of Clay, oh, he was watching. Rafa Nadal said it's incredible. Congratulations to Carlos Alcaraz and congratulations to Jannik Sinner as well. Both these guys really pushed each other. Another Grand Slam champion chiming in, Marin Cilic. What do you think about this, Paul? One of the best 5th sets ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was drama both ways, and to see Sinner recover after what happened in the 4th set, get down an early break in the 5th, and find ways to get back into the match tiebreak, that tells you about steely will, and it tells you how important it is to keep your composure. I mean, if anyone had reason to lose his composure, it was Sinner, and he didn't, and he almost clawed his way to a victory.
I also thought the physicality in the 5th, we're talking 4.5 hours in, 5 hours in, and the way that they were able to strike the ball and get in and out of the corners didn't seem like there was any tiredness from either one of them. The quality didn't dissipate, so that was absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff.
2 of the best athletes on the planet going toe-to-toe. And these 2, by the way, met less than a month ago in the final of Rome. It was Sinner's first tournament back after a 3-month suspension. Alcaraz took the title for the first time at the Italian Open. His 7th Masters title, 19th overall, ended Sinner's 26-match win streak. It was the Spaniards' 4th straight win over Sinner. The stakes even higher in their 12th meeting, as it was their first in a major final, Paul.
Yeah, and both guys at the beginning seemed like they were jockeying for position. Alcaraz wasn't sure kind of how aggressive to be, how solid to be. Sinner was Sinner. He was in lockdown mode, doing all the right things, playing power tennis from the back of the court. Just really fun to watch them construct points, especially Sinner, because he very rarely makes a bad decision. He may miss a ball or 2, but almost never chooses the wrong shot. And Carlos Alcaraz is just the human highlight reel, so he can do just about anything. And even though he had things under control when he was up early in the 1st set, it got away from him really quickly at the end of the set, and Sinner stole that set from him. And then the 2nd set, Sinner got that early break of serve to keep the momentum, and you wondered what Carlos was going to do to try to get things back to neutral. Sinner came forward, beautiful volley there, just did a lot of things in a very buttoned-up manner, and that's what he always does. I mean, just did everything he needed to do to make Carlos feel a little bit uncomfortable. And it was a heck of an effort. The end of the 2nd set here, Alcaraz 5-4, 40-15, another lengthy rally. Look at the weight of shot from these guys. I mean, just lots of margin. Look at that high over the net down the line, getting to 5-all, and then they get into the tiebreak, and Sinner was just a little better. Sinner was the one that didn't make mistakes, put it in lockdown mode, and he was the one that was kind of able to defend better offensively. That was a huge point for Sinner to go up 4-2 in the tiebreak. They stretched it to 6-3 and then comes forward, and right here you think, oh, maybe Alcaraz is going to get back in the tiebreak because he doesn't put that away. But no, Sinner did a wonderful job, lost that overhead point, and then got to 6-4. But look at the weight of shot. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Sinner still hasn't dropped a set all tournament at this point. Hasn't dropped a set at a major since the 4th round of the Australian Open. Take a look at these numbers, Chanda.
Yeah, the first serve points won, a highlight for Sinner, 71%. Did a decent job behind his second serve as well. And winning those shorter rallies, he was playing more aggressive tennis as we saw, and that was paying off.
Sinner had won his last 29 matches after taking the first set. He takes the first 2 here. Tracy, what are you thinking at this point?
At this point, I'm thinking Sinner is in control. It just seems like his shots are a little bit deeper. He's got the width of the court as well that he's using so well. This was just a bashing ground stroke war, and it was so fun to watch, to see who could hit the depth, who could push the other one back just a touch and then look for the opening. But it was amazing the way that Alcaraz was able to get himself back into that third set.
Yeah, it was fun to watch because Sinner did a nice job capitalizing on what was his in front of him. A couple unforced errors from Carlos at the wrong time. Some really sound play from Sinner. But this is why great players are great players. They adjust and expect the unexpected with them. And then after the first set, it was time for all of us to just buckle our seatbelts and enjoy.
Yeah, I love when you see 2 players come out in a final. And, you know, we expected Jannik Sinner to play this kind of buttoned-up tennis that he had been playing all fortnight long. And he did. He did not disappoint. So it was up to Carlos Alcaraz to respond. How would he adjust? What would he do to get himself into the match? Would he go away? And, of course, we were not disappointed.
This match was far from over. In fact, Alcaraz had won 3 of the last 4 meetings against Sinner after losing the first set. So to a third we go, Tracy.
Yeah, and this looked problematic early stages of the opening game because Carlos Alcaraz is already down 2 sets, and Sinner is looking so strong, really ultra aggressive, and gets that break early. And Carlos Alcaraz then, as Paul talked about, has that champion mentality. He just buckles down, starts to play much better, stays so positive, and he takes the 4-1 lead, where he gets a couple of breaks in a row. Sinner has barely been broken in this whole entire tournament, starts to get the crowd involved, goes to the ear, and that's when he starts to put his foot down, looks for the forehand more frequently, and he gets that 5-2 lead, but Sinner doesn't go away. Sinner moves so well, and when he is on the full stretch, hits such an offensive shot, so deep in the corners. So now Alcaraz is at 40 love here, and he takes that set. It got a little complicated at the end stages of that, but now we know we're in for a match. Chanda, that 4th set sure was interesting.
It was.
Sinner's streak of 31 sets in a row at majors comes to an end, Chanda.
Yeah, and, you know, we were all here for it. You wanted to see a competitive match in the 4th, wondered how things would unfold. It was Sinner who got the momentum again, and here, those championship points. The first one out of the corner, Sinner misses that one, a fairly extended rally, but this one was a bit of the surprise. The missed backhand return, he had something very hittable. That was a great look at closing this match out. Here was another one on the forehand. Just didn't quite get enough air under that ball. Maybe a little bit of tension creeping in and affecting matters, but Alcaraz was there to take full advantage. The forehand winner. He met the moment, used the crowd and the energy to get back even in that 4th set. And this is where we started enjoying some of the extended rallies, and that was to Alcaraz's advantage. When he could get those rallies to go a bit longer, he was the one more in control. But it was Sinner who got off to a pretty good start in this tiebreak, but Alcaraz struck back, and a couple of big serves from Alcaraz early on. They were aces that turned the entire tiebreak in the 4th, and now we are in a 5th set.
Alcaraz wearing those black and white stripes. He has fully broken out of jail at this point. We head to a 5th. Alcaraz 12-1 in 5th set. Sinner 6-9 coming in.
Yep, and we didn't know what to expect because Sinner had just gotten his heart broken, and it was very difficult to know what he was going to do. And it was Alcaraz right there at the beginning of the 5th that wrestled away the break of serve. And guess what, guys? Here we go again. This time it's Alcaraz serving at 5-4, 15-30. How about that dig?
How did he do that?
Sinner had not been getting to hardly any drop shots in the 5th set. That was a terrific get. Wins that point, breaks serve, and off we go again. That is incredible resolve from Jannik Sinner to have 3 match points in the 4th set, get down an early break, and fight his way all the way back to get into this situation where they're going to have to play a match tiebreak for these guys to decide. And right here, 6-5, 30 all. Chanda, we talked about this. It was 15-30, right?
It was. And, I mean, incredible return there. You thought Sinner might have it, but Alcaraz said, nope, I'm refusing to lose some of these points.
Right, and this tiebreak was amazing. First 7 points from Alcaraz was ridiculous. Sinner made one unforced error, and Alcaraz was just threading the needle. Look at the drop shot here, then comes in with the flick topspin volley cross court to go up 4-0. He's just amazing. I mean,
aggressive.
Sometimes when I have my coach's hat on, I go, do I want him to be more stable? I'm like, maybe I don't. It's fun to watch. But he's amazing. I mean, look at that score line. He just played a great tiebreak. Sinner didn't play a bad tiebreak. He just got hit off the court.
And there's the moment right there. Carlos Alcaraz, from the brink of defeat, comes all the way back to take out the world #1 for his second straight Roland Garros title. 5th major overall. Incredible, just 22 years old. King Carlitos, indeed. 3rd youngest to get to 5 career majors. 20th career title. First man born in the 2000s to do that. And for the first time in his life, he was able to come back from 2 sets down. Let's hear from both guys.
Many great things I have achieved, even though I'm still happy with this one. It's an amazing trophy, so I won't sleep tonight very well, but it's okay.
I know the hard work you're putting every day. It is huge. Honestly, I know how hard you're chasing this tournament or every tournament. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be champion, not once, but many times. It's a privilege to share the court with you in every tournament, making history with you.
All right, let's take a look at the road to the title, Chanda.
You know, it wasn't quite as clean as Jannik Sinner. He lost some sets along the way. Marjan against Jumer as well. That was a tough one that he was able to get through. And then against Ben Shelton, it felt like he started to find some form when he really needed it. A clean match against Tommy Paul, and of course coming from behind in the semifinals against Musetti. But nothing could have prepared us for that final. And Carlos Alcaraz coming from 2 sets to love down to turn that one around. So you just never know over the course of a tournament, match in and match out, you never know where things are going to turn. And for Alcaraz, he just had that positivity throughout when he needed it. And I thought that held him in good stead as he got to the final and even in the final.
Yeah, I mean, for Alcaraz, he had Tommy Paul, who looked a little impaired with his leg, so he was able to get through that one, I think, easier than we might have thought. And then for Musetti, the first couple of sets were incredible tennis, such a high level, but then Musetti had to retire, so for him, he really had to step it up today. But, you know, he's had that head-to-head, that very positive head-to-head against Sinner, and again today to come back from 3 match points down, unbelievable willpower and determination.
The longer a match goes, the better Carlos Alcaraz becomes. Now 10-1 in matches lasting longer than 3 hours and 50 minutes. Sinner 0 for 7. What was your key moment of this match, Paul?
Well, there was a lot of them because it went back and forth. But the biggest thing, because Carlos ended up winning, was how things transpired when the match was just in the grasp of Sinner to take away the W. And it was amazing for him to save these match points at love 40. This first point is fine. There's nothing wrong with this point. Good return, deep. And then this is a shot back. This is a nice rally, nice deep shot here. And there's nothing wrong with this rally right here. Sinner on the full stretch misses that by 2 inches. I don't mind that at all. And then the next shot is one of the things that you'll almost never see Sinner do. Second serve return, and that's about 18 inches, 2 feet long. That's all about the moment. That's tough. But the last one is really more the only one I have a problem with, because when you're falling backwards like this next shot, you have to hit a lot of arc and weight on that ball. He tried to hit that ball flat and low. And once again, that is about the moment, and that is the moment Carlos Alcaraz said, you know what? I got a shot.
Take a look at the final numbers. Interesting one, Tracy. Total points, Sinner 193, Alcaraz 192.
Yeah, so close. And look at the drop shots that Alcaraz was able to use. I think he was trying to take the legs out of Sinner because there was that stat floating around X that Sinner hadn't won these long matches, and he kind of did that in the 4th set. But look at the winners and unforced, both more for Alcaraz. He was the more aggressive of the two. in that match tiebreak. It really made the difference. He stepped up. That's how he likes to play.
It was an all-timer, and we are just getting started, breaking down the men's final here at Roland Garros. More than 5 hours and 25 minutes. These two took the court, put on a show for the entire tennis world.